Alright, so today we're going to be taking apart the servo saver for the Arrma Typhon Mega. I was having some issues with it where I was driving and I would turn the steering and then the car would no longer go straight. It was always wanting to turn one direction, so then I'd adjust the trim on the controller and it would go straight, and then I would turn again and then it would continue to go the other direction. So I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. So I thought, let me see if I can take the servo saver apart. And of course I couldn't find any videos on YouTube of how to take it apart, so I figured I'd make another one of these kind of videos. So in order to actually take this apart, the first thing you want to do, obviously besides take it out, is get a very small flathead screwdriver. And I've already disassembled this just to make it easier because I've already figured it all out. But you're going to get the flathead screwdriver and get underneath this cap here on the top. And you're going to kind of pry under it, and this cap just pops straight out. So once you get this cap out, then the bottom side of this will fall. You can use a screwdriver and push it out, or whatever you have laying around. Now, careful when you take the bottom piece out, because the spring, which I have already sitting over here, will be in this bottom part here. And if you're not careful, it can go flying. So once this gets pulled out, sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. There you go. And this is the inside of it here. And so the spring sits inside of this part here and goes around this part here. And so when I first opened it up, I was like, well, there's a bit of dirt in there. Maybe that's why the servo saver is sticking and not functioning properly. And so I cleaned everything, and obviously you can tell there's not any dirt or anything in there. But upon further inspection, I realized that there is, in this piece here, I don't know if I'll be able to see it, there's a slight crack right here by the tip of my finger. And if you look, this cap by my index finger here looks a little mushroomed out on the very top. And so after looking at it, what I found out was that as this cap is popped down into here, it's constantly pushing outwards on this ring here, and so it caused this crack, and it caused this top part to bow. And because this part's bowing out here, it doesn't allow it to spin freely around the inner diameter of the top, this part of the servo saver. I don't know if it's the top or the bottom, but either way, it actually binds up. And so I thought I was going to just take this apart and clean it, which you probably can do depending on how dirty the servo saver is in your vehicle. But this one, obviously, it has a crack in it. Again, there you can see it right there. It's got a nice crack. It's bowed at the top, so it's causing this surface right here that I'm touching to rub against the inner diameter of this circle right here in the middle. And that's why I'm having the servo saver issue. So this is going to get replaced. I don't know if I can find just this part. I highly doubt it. I'll probably end up ordering a whole new servo saver. But if you're having an issue where you're driving and you turn one way and then the car turns that way, and then you basically let the steering go and it continues to go that direction, it's because the servo saver itself is not functioning properly and most likely probably needs to be replaced. But if it is dirty, then potentially you can just clean it and put it back together. Just make sure that you're looking for cracks like this one, or how it's bowed out at the top, because obviously this part here is defective. And then obviously to put it back together, you're just going to do the opposite. You're going to take your spring. I'm not going to try this one-handed, but you're going to put the spring back in here. It wraps around this whole area inside of here, and then you put the cap. Oops. All the fun of doing this in one take, right, guys? So you'll put the cap back in here, and there are these two little holes, and those holes should line up with those two little holes right there. So as you go to put it back together, you're going to drop that back in with the spring in there, of course. So you drop that back in, and then your cap here should snap back in place. So as you go to put it in there, you should push I can't even get it in there. This part is hard to get out, just FYI. I'd have to use a lot of force. Yeah, I can't even get it back in there. Maybe you can use some pliers or vice grips or something like that, or just be stronger than me. But either way, that's just a quick tutorial on how to take this thing apart and kind of what to look for to see if it's actually broken or if you can just clean it and put it back together. I assume it's relatively cheap. But anyway, hopefully this helps somebody in diagnosing a problem with their steering for the Arrma Typhon Mega. I don't know if they use the same servo on the 3S or the 6S. I doubt they do, but or maybe they probably do on the 3S, but probably not the 6S.